Soutpansberg is a mountain range which is 80 kilometers south of the Botswana-Zimbabwe border, right in the northern corner of South Africa. It is a mountain that is been identified by the South African Biodiversity Institute, our scientific authority, as a biodiversity hotspot and a center for endemism, which means that at all costs it should be conserved for future generations. The mountain currently have got very poor conservation status, with only 1% formally proclaimed as protected areas.
The aim of our project is to safeguard the future of hundreds of threatened and endemic species and landscapes and support the development of sustainable livelihoods in the Western Soutpansberg Mountains. We will achieve this through strategically addressing threats to species and their habitats across the region and establishing a formal protected area corridor across the mountain. We will work with existing landowners and communities to establish one large protected area with the aim of saving species and habitats, providing critical ecosystem services such as clean water, developing climate change resilience, and building communities of conservation practice. Behind me is an example of one of the threats that we do face on the Soutpansberg, and that is the presence of invasive alien plants.
Most of the alien plant that we are eradicating, it absorbs a lot of water. For example, blue gum can absorb more than 500 liters per day. So by cutting them or eradicating them, it means we are doing a lot in water conservation.
So the Soutpansberg is a really unique mountain. It's very high in biodiversity. It's got very high levels of endemism. In fact, behind me you can see an example of an endemic aloe called the aloe angelica. Now these are only found on the northern facing slopes of the Soutpansberg. Our vision for the mountain is to create a large protected area so that we can protect all of these endemic and endangered species. We're working with a number of landowners as well as our own land purchasers. So we have our own property, Madiki, and we're expanding on this property. But we're working with landowners neighbouring that property under the Limpopo Department of Economic Development, Environment and Tourism's Biodiversity Stewardship Program. So because of the uniqueness of this mountain, its very high levels of endemism, many species that occur here, some of them threatened, the Soutpansberg has actually been identified in a number of different conservation initiatives, both in the National Protected Area Expansion Strategy as well as in the Limpopo Conservation Plan. It's identified as a critical biodiversity area. It's also been recognized as an important groundwater source area and as an important bird area by BirdLife South Africa. Despite all of this recognized attention of the Soutpansberg and its uniqueness, very little of the mountain is actually formally conserved. So that's why we're wanting to change this and to formally conserve it as a protected area.